2020 is go!
We are at the halfway stage of the season after this evening's races. Hello, everybody. We're welcome to round 8 of the GPVWC Formula Challenge 2020 Championship here this evening. I'm David Carter. I'll bring you through all this evening's action, racing, drama, and overtaking, and hopefully great racing. And tonight, this evening, we are at the home of British Motorsport and the very start of Formula One back in 1950. This is Silverstone, a fantastic circuit that all the drivers always look forward to coming to every year. Have a great history, of course, not only in motorsport in general, but also here in GPVWC when we first raced back in 2013 in Formula Challenge here as well. I hope you're all keeping well. I'll be trying to keep an eye on the chat as well during the event as well. We're just going to go over to qualifying as practice is just finished. But again, hopefully another dramatic evening. And plenty has happened in the last 2 weeks or so since that very, very rough and tumble event of Paul Ricard 2 weeks ago. Hopefully a few people have moved on from there. We're now in Silverstone, of course. And then after this event in 2 weeks' time, we'll be going to Hockenheim as well. This marks the halfway point of the season. Fantastic circuit. It's been a great season so far. Lots of drama, lots of great action. And we're only just be halfway after this evening as well. So, qualifying has just started. Everyone's lining up in the pit lane. If it's the first time you're watching Formula Challenge or a GPVWC event, first of all, welcome. I hope you enjoy this evening's action. We've got 2 sprint races, both 13 laps long here this evening after this qualifying session, which after race 1, between the positions 10 and 15 will be reversed randomly as well. And then race 2 will be exactly the same distance and discipline as well. Now, top of the championship is still Martin Hemmingsen. He's led pretty much since, I think, round 3 of the championship after he missed the first round of the season. But he's been the man to beat pretty much all season long on 231 points. 17 points behind him in the championship, Sven de Vries. Now, he is not here today, which is a big problem for Thunderdog as well, because he's been the major source of points for them this season as well. This evening, he has been replaced by Misliano Rivoli as well. But he's on an emergency seat there. So a tough act to follow on his shoulders for the Italian. So Sven de Vries not here this evening. Third place in the championship, Patrick Rosat. Level with Amari Watson, so they're third and fourth. They're both racing this evening as well. Paul Huxter in fifth, but he's no longer racing in the championship. Dutchman. Daniel Herlock is down in seventh now, actually. Guillaume Branton sixth. So we'll get back to Guillaume Branton in a moment because there's been a bit of a story behind Guillaume Branton between Paul Ricard and this evening as well in Silverstone. Daniel Herlock in P7. He is not here today. He's had some real problems. Stephen Lexo, unfortunately, a couple of hours before this evening's event, has had a really nasty hand injury. Wish him all the best for the speedy recovery as well for Nova Sim Racing. And if we actually go onto one of the Nova Sim Racing cars, actually now if we go down to P25, you'll see both of the Nova cars. Josh Downard being Lexo's replacement here this evening. So he's in the Manor 2016 inspired livery here this evening as well for a one-off as well. And it does look a fantastic replica of the Manor car, designed as well by the Zedric boss Doug Hilliard as well. Really, really nice design. We'll get back to all the stories from Paul Ricard during the qualifying session more, but for now, people are just starting their first laps here. And Guillaume Branton was P1 in practice. He's also the first man to be starting a lap here as well. And I'm about to get through the circuit. You guys, you all know Silverstone fairly well. Just going around halfway through the circuit now. Of course, this is the old start-finish straight going to Cops Corner. But I say the Formula Challenge cars, very, very good round this circuit. It seems to have pretty high downforce for this track. It seems to be handling the faster course better with the higher downforce setup this year as well. And of course, Guillaume Branton noticed in the 86 racing car, a man who P6 in the championship got sacked by RBA, or the Royal Blue Academy, after Paul Ricard, which caused a lot of drama and controversy up and down the GPVWC paddock. But he's found a new home in 86 Racing. I've had a little work with him. He seems really happy. Now he seems in some ways a bit more relaxed, I feel like, as well. And, hoping to carry on his great run of form this season for the second half of this championship. And he's come across the line, 39.4. Good benchmark there for the Dutch driver. Amari Watson coming in 2% behind as well. As Martin Hemmingson, there he goes, championship leader for Neptune Simracing at 39.1. And Deacon Fairclough there for downforce. Just improved on there as well, 39.106 for the downforce Skelet Racing team there as well. There has been rumours of rain for this event as well. For the time being, with 11 minutes to go, it's still absolutely bone dry, just cloudy surrounding the circuit. But yeah, don't be surprised to see a few spots of rain during this event as well. Deacon Fairclough, of course, provisional pole man, but for the last 3 events has suffered with lag spike incidents as well. We hope he's got those problems sorted, because it's been really unfortunate for him, but not just for himself, also the drivers that's affected in the incidents as well. Remember Dan Hurlock in Canada, for example. He had a couple of incidents as well with the same corner at Paul Ricard last one out as well. Currently, for the time being, the race winner in Zandvoort is currently provisional pole position for Martin Hemmingson, Patrick Rosak, Jacob Reed, who ran race 1 in Paul Ricard as well, the emergency driver for Hamming GP. Ian Branton in P5. His teammate Luca Flask actually in P6 as well. Good showing so far from him. Blake Checkett's P7, Amari Watson in P8. Tom Voss in P9, and Thomas Harvey rounding out the top 10. Of course, with 10 minutes to go, very early days nonetheless. A few guys coming straight into the pits. A few guys actually doing a second lap for the time being. Fairclough, for example, one of those guys, as he just passes the yellow flag actually. But, nevertheless, makes another lap. Patrick Rogues, that goes up to P2 for RBA as well. So a man who's been steadily improving this season, has been really, a couple of mistakes early part of the year, but has really improved, particularly in the last few rounds since Canada. Really has stepped up his game and looked really solid. His new teammate as well, Simon Frelick, who was the reserve driver at RBA, has stepped in now to fulfil the role that Branton has left behind, so to speak. And of course, an all Polish lineup going forward for them as well. They actually signed, I believe, Jaden Wright in recent days as well as their new reserve driver as well. So, new time for them. But I think the combination of Rosak and Frelick for RBA, the old Polish lineup, and as I said in the last broadcast, they've looked very promising so far since joining GPVWC in Formula Challenge as well. Currently P2 there for RBA. Looking further back, Blake Checkett's improved actually to P6 as well for Valley Esports. Now, Valley Esports down in 13th for the championship and getting very close actually to the bottom 3 teams, which is Drive Game Seats, Rookie Monsters, and Friesland as well. And Valley Esports might be dragged into that battle if they're not too careful as well. So they're in need for a strong result here this evening. But Checkett, who's come in the last few rounds since Canada, has got involved in incidents, but I think he's got good potential to do a good job in the next, particularly second half of the season as well. Everyone now just starting to come into the pits for the first time. Meanwhile, Martin Hemmington starting another run around Silverstone. Which is starting time back now. Martin Hemmington's been in fabulous form all season. He's done extremely well. 5 wins, 9 podiums from his 12 starts this year, 4 pole positions, 5 fastest laps. He has been a man carrying over the form from last season to a degree, but been a lot more consistent as well, and that's why he's in such a commanding position in the drivers' championship, and why Neptune is such a commanding position in the team championship as well. He's going on for another run. Of course, the way our Factor 2 works as well, as the session progresses, the track will develop. Rubber, it'll get more grippy as long as it stays dry. So that time you might see a couple of 38s here and there as well. And of course, if you've got any questions while you're watching the event today, feel free to throw them up in the chat as well. I see a very few familiar names in there. Liam Doyle, for example, in there as well. Obviously representing GPVWC in recent times at the race, as well as Alan Maguire. Of course, he's in the chat. He's a very busy man the last few days also. Hope you're doing well there as well. Alexander Van Wuder in there. An old name that I recognise from years gone by. But I would say tuning into some great action here this evening. I can't see where Martin Henriksen is. I think he's backed off because he's lifted off. There's no one really improved. Amari Watson actually goes up to P5 for Santa Motorsports. Now, along with Amari, there's a lot of drivers who's got grid penalties, and I'll go through with them, all of them through warm-up after this qualifying session. 6 minutes to go, of course. But there's 13 drivers who got grid penalties from qualifying in Paul Ricard, and Amari Watson is one of them. I actually believe that both Santa Motorsport drivers this event will have grid penalties, so it might be a bit of damage limitation, changing their strategy from what would normally be as well. But for the time being, Amari Watson P5. And another man who's going pretty quick, Jacob Reed, down in P7, Hamming GP car. Got the pole position in Paul Ricard, and he's done it again here. Provisional pole position 138.8. Jacob Reed, he's come in and done a fabulous job. Actually had a very good Super League Lights race as well, which is the second tier in GPVWC. This tier, of course, is the 4th tier of the ladder, the first proper series. Hamming GP, though, seem to have found a new spark with Jacob Reed coming in, and again, pole position provisionally at least, or nearly 3/10 from Egan Fairclough as well. Patrick Rozak is another man who is improving on his lap time. He's just going down the hanger straight in P3. And he's done a personal best, green sectors 1 and 2, but still a little bit behind Jacob Reed as he goes through into sector 3, breaking into this tight and fiddly chicane. And also, actually, if the braking points here are super important, if you be late on the brakes, you seem to gain quite a lot of time, as Rozak seems to have done through there. He took up really nicely, comes across the line, the chip him to 38. Yes, it does, and he's just 100th behind Jacob Reed. So Rozak putting the hammer down, back up in P3. Man who's jumped up into P5 actually. Ilyas Fernandez has been absent for the last 3 rounds. He's come back in, and Asombic have really suffered actually with points in the last 3 rounds since his absence, but he's now back, looking to give him a little bit of a boost after such a strong start in the season. He's got right down in the standings as well. So looking at it now, so you've got Reed, Rozak, Hemmingson in P3. Deegan Fairclough 4, Fernandez 5th, Amari Watson 6th, Leon Brownton P7. Tom Voss has moved up to 8th position and seconded the Hamming GP car. Chris Griswood is 9th position, and then you've got Paul August Lahn in P10. And you've got Tom Stevens, Blake Checketts. Actually, there's another man who's moved up actually in that time since I've said that. But it's Checketts 13th, Luca Fast 14th, and Joey Frolic is just standing for madness today after Tom Parker received a race ban for exceeding his license points limit of 12. He's of 10. He's up to 12 license points now. Joey Frolic standing in for the Madness Racing team as well. His standards are changing all the time now. With 3 minutes to go, people are trying to do faster laps and get the laps in before the session ends as well. Simon Frelick, a man who's jumped up to P6 for RBA. So RBA now in a very good position. Both cars in the top 6. And Frelick, a man when he's raced this year, he's done pretty well. But now he's in that full-time hot seat at RBA now. He's got to prove himself now as to why he deserves that seat over the likes of Dion Branton as well. But I expect Frelick to do very, very well, actually. He's been very impressive every time he's raced this season. Just seeing if anyone is actually going faster than before. It looks like Luca Flask is just improving his car. He's up to 10th position in the 86E racing car. No one else. Oh, it's a man who's going a bit quicker. Ilias Fernandez in P7 for Sombic. He's coming into the final sector now. Going about 2/10 quicker. After the first 2 sectors, he has a clean exit out of the final corner. Takes a good run. Don't clip that curb on the inside because that will ruin your run. And he's up to 3rd. Ilias Fernandez doing a stunning job on his return. And it's the thing that people don't necessarily appreciate. When you take a few rounds off, you may not necessarily know what's going on. If you kept the people are not keeping involved, obviously people are developing their skills all the time, race by race. And Fernandez has come back and put his authority in and looking really, really good so far. And he's up ahead of the championship leader Martin Hemmingson. Blake Checkett's up to 5th in the Valley Esports car. I'd be really happy with that. Fairclough is out on track now. He's in 6th position. Amari Watson's a man I'm keeping an eye on. He is improving after sector 2. And he's going through the final section of the track now. And I think it's going to be a really nice time. And he needs it as well because obviously he's got a 10th place grid penalty to take. Down in P9, he jumps up to 6th. He's ahead of Eagle Fairclough with less than a minute to go. That could be really key for his event because you don't need too far down the grid if you've got a grid penalty as well. Let's see what happens in the next couple of minutes or so. People just starting their lap. So it's going to be a tough hit. I just see a rear wing bouncing down the track. Who's that lost his rear wing? Down the Hangar Straight, just bouncing down the track. I think someone's had a big incident somewhere. There it is. It's one of the Academy cars. I believe that's John McClane. No, it's not. It's Kaborshik, I think that is. Karbalshik, I apologise. He has lost his rear wing going down the Hangar Straight and he's crawling his way back to the pit. The man who won the Academy Series race yesterday at Hockenheim. This is his first event in GPVWC, or in the main series at least. And he's now crawling his way back to the pits. He's down in 21st position for the time being. Another man who's called over, Massimiliano Riboli. He's down in 25th. His session is finished. Meanwhile, I'm keeping an eye on actions going on at the front of the field. Hemmingson, purple sector 1. He's in 4th position provisionally for the time being, but maybe not has as much pressure this evening because he has got Sven de Vries qualifying his only championship rival, of course. So this evening, obviously he missed the first round of the season to Hemmingson. This is the first event that Sven de Vries is missing, so it'll all balance out retrospectively as well. But Hemmingson coming out of Cops Corner, lining himself up for Maggots, Beckett and Chapel corners. And car looking quite good out of there, actually. You know, DRS out, of course. DRS, you get down the Wellington Straight, and now this one being the Hangar Straight as well. Goes up to Stowe Corner. Turns in a bit of tyre smicking off the tyre there as well. Brunton's a little bit wide, actually, and he's going to come into the pit. So P5 is the highest that he's going to be starting from. So here we got Branton's up to 3rd. 86E Racing's Guillaume Branton up to 3rd position there, behind his old teammate Patrick Rosak as well. So you got Reed, Rosak, Branton, Fernandez, and provisional pole for Jacob Reed. Rosak, Branton, Fernandez, Hemmington, Blake Checketts in 6th, Amari Watson in P7, Deacon Fairclough in 8th, Thomas Harvey comes across line in P9. And in P10, we've got Simon Frelick as well. And I believe, actually, as well, if I'm not mistaken, Jacob Reed and Patrick Rosak had grid penalties. So Branton could end up taking pole position as a result of that. Because Reed and Rosak had 10 place grid penalties to take. So Guillaume Branton could be starting from pole position here at Silverstone. So with all the penalties that's gone on, it could be very, very changed grid. But we'll get to that when the time comes. But Jacob Reed being the fastest man in qualifying on 38.829. Behind the top 10, you got Tom Voss, Tom Stevens, Luca Flask, Isaac Morris, 14th. Miguel de los Rios in his return, his first round in 2020 after taking part last year for KC Esports Racing in 15th. Chris Griswood, 16th. August Line, 17th. Jake Dennehan, 18th. Joey Follett, 19th. Dan Hutt ran out the top 20. That's been qualifying very, very close, of course, as well. The whole, the top 23 covered by a second as well. Very, very close. Take a few minutes break. Come back, just refresh ourselves a little bit here, and we'll be right back to take you through the warm-up session. Welcome back, everybody. I'll just take a short break there between sessions. But yeah, another very interesting grid we have going forward. So we'll find out the exact grid when it gets released in a few minutes' time. But just to let you know, quick update from GPV actually, more than anything else. I know there's been a few problems with the website in the last few days. Obviously, the main websites are back up now. It's just the forum and the Wikipedia, for example, still not working, but they're working to get that all sorted. Hopefully, in the next few days, we'll be back up to normal. But if there's any new viewers watching this, maybe for the first time, if you've got any questions at all, or you want to find out more about GPVWC, you can check the description below. There's people in the chat who know a lot about the league and the community as well. Feel free to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask. You know, and there's so much detail that goes on, so much sort of like behind the scenes stuff that you may not necessarily see in the broadcast, for example, goes on. There is a lot of detail to potentially go through as well. So don't be afraid to ask any questions in the meantime. So just going back a couple of weeks or so, obviously there was, if you may remember from Paul Ricard, there was some quite questionable driving, and you know, I hope there's a few individuals, shall we say, that didn't hold themselves in the best of glory, shall we say, and hopefully they've learnt their lesson and improve their standards, because it was a bit of a poor showing from a few people last time, particularly with the track cuts and all this other stuff. Silverstone seems to be a lot more well behaved, so hopefully we'll be able to see some better racing this time around here at Silverstone as well. Obviously, we've got Silverstone today for Formula Challenge, and next week we have got Super Cup, Super League Lights, and Super League. And carrying on the British theme, actually, our next Academy Series race, which the sign-up's open today, will be at Donington Park in a few weeks' time as well. So you can go onto the older website, sign up there if you want to take part. You know, it's I might even actually have a go myself. Actually, I'm a big fan of that track, and you know, we have up to 40 cars there as well. And a lot of the people there might be trying to drive for the first time, but a lot of people also will be trying to maybe get a seat for this series or another series from GPV higher up the ladder as well. So it's always interesting stuff. Obviously, it is always a good spectacle as well. With Rodrigo Carvalho doing the commentary as well, always having put on a good show as well. 4 minutes to go in the warm-up session. To go, I'm just going to run you through in a bit more detail what's been going on in the last couple of weeks or so. So we got, as I say, Joey Frolic standing in for the banned Tom Parker for this round. Frolic returning to series after stepping in a few rounds last year as well. They got Jake Dennehan stepping in at Santa Motorsports. Again, he did a few rounds last year for the team. He's standing in for Dan Herlock, who's had some wheel problems. Fingers crossed we'll see Herlock come back and sort out whatever technical problems he has had. Gregorio de los Rios, he is standing in, I believe, for David Serra, because David Serra's now left the Sombic, and Miguel is now the primary driver there at Sombic Esports as well. Great to see him back, the Peruvian driver. He had a lot of bad luck last year. He scored points in Australia and didn't actually score points again in the next 7 rounds, which was actually here at Silverstone in round 1, I believe, then as well. So he had a lot of he had a rough year last year. I hope he has he's gone away and have a better crack at it this time out as well. Obviously, you know about Simon Frelick. He's now the primary driver at RBA alongside Rozak. And got Josh Downard standing in for Stephen Lexo in the Manor-inspired livery Nova Simracing car for this event. Obviously, got Cal Barshik on his debut in Formula Challenge as well in the Academy Series team. Great to see him here. I know there's a big Polish contingency in the series, in the community, so we've got another one here as well taking part here today. Great to see the word being spread around. And I believe there's not too many more. Obviously, Rivoli's come back after leaving Valley Esports. He's now the emergency driver for Thunderdog for this round. I think just this round, I believe. And that is pretty much it, I believe. So quite a lot of drivers being chopped and changed a little bit for this time around. Also, Drive Game Seat, not here at all. Both their drivers have got no cars here this evening, which is a bit of a shame because Matteo Bolco has been he actually scored his first, after all the penalties that happened in Paul Ricard, he actually got his first points of his GPVWC career. He ended up with I believe a 12th place or a 13th place. Sorry. After that, so it's a shame because he got the points. Now he's not here a lot. Well, Drive Game Seat's not here, so it's a bit of a shame. But hopefully we'll see him back for the next round. I know it's a very busy time for a lot of teams in the esports world, the sim racing world as well. So it's kind of understandable, but a shame nevertheless. 1 minute 20 there to go. We've got a few more names now joining the chat. Good evening, everybody. I hope you are all having fun and enjoying Silverstone. We've actually got George Whitehouse in the chat, actually. Fun fact, well, he won the Race 2 here last year in Formula Challenge. Also, the last 4 winners of Formula Challenge have all been based in the UK as well. We've had 3 English drivers win. We've had Sandeep Singh, who's doing our cameraman. He's our cameraman for this evening. Indian driver who's based in the UK as well. So will that run carry on this evening? We've got Jacob Reed. Well, he's got a grid stop now, actually, of course. But we could see we'll see another British winner here this evening in the home Grand Prix. We'll find out. Grid has been finalised, so I can just confirm that Guillaume Branton will be on pole position. Alongside him will be here we go. Elias Fernandez will be P2, and then Hemmingson will be in P3 as well. So another strong position for him to work with. Blake Checkett's in P4, his best qualifying since joining GPVWC as well. I hope he has a nice event. I know he's been really keen, really working hard. Deacon Fairclough P5, Simon Frelick P6. Obviously, I'll run down the full grid when we get through onto the grid, and then the warm-up lap as well before the start. So it's going to be another very interesting event. Of course, 13 race laps here. The race will go very, very quickly because it's a very, very high-speed average laps here as well. Tyre wear can be a bit on the high side for some of these guys, but we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens in the next 2 races here this evening. So the grid has now been, they're all going to be starting joining the grid. And a lot of controversy has happened this season. This will be the halfway point of the championship for Formula Challenge after tonight. And it's gone very, very quickly. I remember that we had the rain in Australia, we've had Bahrain, all sorts of fantastic races we've had so far this year. Obviously Baku in there, Canada, Paul Ricard. We've had 7 fantastic rounds. This will be the 8th one, and then we've got another 8 rounds for you to look forward to for the rest of this Formula Challenge Championship. And it's a long slog. It's a long slog. You got 32 races during the season. For a lot of these drivers, it's very, very tough. It is a very tough season to be dedicated for such a long period of time. So it's not for the faint-hearted. If a team manages to go like a driver does the full championship, they've done well. But that's another story for another day, really, isn't it? Anyway, formation lap has just started, and it is Guillaume Branton. He'll be starting on pole position for his new team, 86 Esports, their first pole of their career. Yes, Fernandez on his return will be in P2 for Sombic Esports there as well. Martin Hemmingson, championship leader. The 5 race wins he's had this season. He'll be starting in P3 with Blake Checkett, who's best qualifying since joining the league, in 4th position for Esports as well. Deacon Fairclough in P5, I believe that's his best qualifying as well for Downforce. And then you've got Simon Frelick in P6 for RBA. And then you got another different team in 7 different teams in the top 7 places. Tom Voss in P7, Jacob Reed after taking position on pole, after taking his penalty here down in P8. Patrick Rosak in P9. Tom Stevens rounding up the top 10 for Thunderdog in his second event in GPVWC. Then you got Luca Flask in P11, Isaac Morris in P12 in the Manor lookalike, or the Manova as they've been calling it, the Nova Esports car there as well. Amari Watson in P13 sat in the personal Santon cars. Thomas Harvey in 14th. And you've got Paul August-Lahn in P15. Jake Dennehan, after taking, I'm sure he hasn't taken the grip penalty. He's down to P16. So that is not ideal. Miguel de los Rios in P17. Apologise if you can't see any of the stream. At the moment, I think there's a couple of technical difficulties with the shadow system that we're using. And Joey Frolic in P18. And then we've got the newcomer, Cal Borsig in P19 with Josh Downard in P20. Massimiliano Riboli in P21 for Thunderdog, ahead of Chris Griswood in P22. And then we've got John McLean, Dan Hutt, Garrett Fries, Mike Bell, P26, Liam Rance, Kevin Van der Medge, Nathan Stoke, and Dmitry Andonovsky as well. Grid is all lined up, so all 30 cars are all going to start on the grid. Let's find out what will happen in the next 13 laps or so here. The track's still nice and dry. Hopefully, we'll have a cracking event here as the 5 lights are out here. And away they go, and there's a poor start for Checkett. He barely moves off the line, but Branson gets the jump off the start. He leads into turn 1 ahead of Ines Fernandez as turn 1 or 2 here they go. Oh, cars off in the background. There's another Simracing car going round, and it looks like Mike Bell spinning around as well. The downforce car, that's Downard and Bell spinning off at turn 1. Here they go through turns 3 and 4. The complex. The first of the complex sections here of track, and there they go all through the corner. Everyone else seems to be going through pretty cleanly, but Branton leads. Here from Fernandez. Hemmingson's attacking already round the outside. Can't do it. Early stages, of course. They got Fairclough in 4th. Having a good start. Rozak in 5th position there. Frelick 6th. Rita Boss in 8th. Luca Fast 9th. Blake Checkett has got a drive-through penalty from the start of the race. That's why he had such a poor start. He must have stopped the car. And he got Stevens and Morris fighting behind there as they enter Cops corner for the first time. Great start though from a lot of the guys. It's fairly clean, but obviously that incident from Downard and Bow getting caught up in an incident as well. Making it better this time, and Branson breaking away. He's got the second gap already from Fernandez, and Fernandez looks like he's got a bit of a queue now behind. Hemmingson is under attack from Fairclough as they go into Snow corner. And Fairclough down inside. He's very brave when he breaks then. He's got the move done. He's past the championship leader. Deacon Fairclough up to 3rd. They got the RBA car right behind him as well. Hemmingson cover off the move from Patrick Rosette behind. He covers the move off nicely. He gets out the corner well. Going through the corners. Oh, it's got contact behind. It's like one of the valleys. Riboli there as well. Liam Rance, they're very close up behind. Fairly clean. Lap 1 at least. Branson still out in front. Just behind there, we got Jacob Reed down the inside, diving into 6th position there ahead of Frelick. Can he keep the position? Frelick trying to hold on around the outside. Can't do it. Yes, he can. Frelick holds on. Nicely done there. Now going down the Wellington Straight. Of course, no DRS still. This is only lap 2. As Frelick covering the line. Oh, around the outside going Jacob Reed. Can he hold on to that? That'd be a great move if he can. He goes off the circuit to make the move, but I think he's going to hold on to it. Yes, he does. And you got Tom Boss trying to look down the inside as well. Check it. Up into 9th position. Luke Flask is dropping down a little bit. It looks like Isaac Morris is going up into P10. Some things to move nicely. All spreading out a little bit at the front of the field. It looks like the top 5 have broken away from Jacob Reed in 6th. But Reed obviously got the pole. Can he make up the ground? So the leaders ahead. Branson, of course, on that controller, so he has to break up the gap early because he might be losing time as the race goes on. Looking further back, it looks like Isaac Morris went onto the grass. Going on to Hanger Straight. Looks like he's under attack now from the Maltese driver. Luca Flask goes round outside. Contact between the two. And Flask and Morris both. Well, Morris is digging sandcastles and that gravel, isn't he? Look at that. Right off the circuit, right down the order. He's going to rejoin the circuit right next to his teammate, Josh Downard as well. Both had entrance in the early stages. Looks like Dan Hut's looking down the inside as well. And looks like Bell and Morris are fighting again. Please, that would be muchly appreciated. They got John McLean behind them as well. So at the back of the field, they're still fighting Hammer and Tong. Got Liam Rance is having this somewhere, and Nathan Stoke is the first retirement of this evening. He is out in the pit lane, not going very far at all. But in the lead, Guillaume Branson's still leads by over a second. DRS now activated down the Wellington straight. If they're going to be any attacking this time around, looks like there's a Magnus car getting very close, looking down inside towards Landis for 12th position. Delos Rios in 12th. Oh, what a spin there! That's for Paul Auguslan. He's had a small half spin there. He's rejoining down in 20th places. Not very happy bunny. Of course, being out top 15 is very important because you've got a chance then for reverse grid. Ultimately, you want to be as close as top 10 as you can to guarantee yourself a place in those positions. Branton, though, leading by 1.5 seconds. He looks really fired up and doing a very, very good job for 86E Racing. And 86E Racing, of course, they're down in 11th place in the championship. There could be another team to win this season. There's been quite a few teams who've managed to win. For example, like Downforce, like Madness, they took their first wins this year as well. Can 86E Racing do the same? We'll find out in the next 10 laps or so as they're going to end lap 3. 13-lap racing course. Everything seems to be fairly clean. I think Garrett Freestand off somewhere with Ice Morris because they're both at the back of the pack. Morris, of course, his license, he's got 9 points on his license. If he gets another one here this evening, that'll be him for a round ban like Tom Parker did in the end of Paul Ricard. So it's important to keep clean up while you start getting round bans that can really ruin your position in the championship. But looking further at the front of the field, looks like Fairclough is down inside of Ilias Fernandez. Fairclough having a brilliant run here today at Silverstone. It's a very good qualifying position and now looking very good in the race as well. P2 for Deegan Fairclough, looking very, very good. Indeed, Ilias Fernandez now holding on and got a big tank slapper there out of Woodcock. Woodcock corner, and he's holding on peacefully now, but he's got Hemmingson, Rozak and Reed, that Franklin Sharks all over the back of the Spanish driver there. Hemmingson trying to get the run out of Cox corner, can't do it this time. Rozak now shadowing noise, very good move. Looking further back, Blake Checkers is still out there. He'll have to take his drive-through penalty fairly soon, I think. But it'll be touch and go where I don't think Checkers will be in line for any points if he does take his drive-through, of course. It's not the longest pit lane here, but the average speed is so fast you can lose quite a lot of time as a result. But looking for that P5 now, you've got Rozak. Under pressure from Jacob Reed, the fastest man in qualifying. Of course, got a race victory last night in Paul Ricard as well. He's caught up to this pack now for, you could say P2. You got there Fairclough, Fernandez, Hemmingson. Then you got Rozak and then Reed now joining the pack as well. He's pulled away from the likes of Frelick, Boss and Blake Checkers. I think Checkers has to be in this lap, otherwise he'll end up getting the disqualification. Well, Tom Stevens there in 10th. Mario Watson has moved up well. He's into 11th position. Miguel de los Rios in 12th. Thomas Harvey 13th. Joey Frolic in 14th. And I see the points there in Kalbarshik. And Kalbarshik there running at the top 15 on his debut as well. So, for any debutant, if you end up getting in the points, that is a good achievement. But Branton there, look at that, 2 seconds out in front. He's not messing about here today, is he? Really, almost like he's been really fired up since his move. Sometimes it can really hamper a driver, sometimes it can be a really big benefit for a driver. You know, the team that you're involved with or in can make a big difference in your performance sometimes. And there he is, 2 seconds out in front, leading, I believe, for the first time this year as well, Guillaume Branton. He's always been at sharp end, you know, he's P6 in the championship. You know, he's had a very, very impressive debut year in GPVWC. And he's here today, and this is going to do him no harm whatsoever. Everyone else seems to be spreading out a little bit. No one really knows the tail. It's all very much line of stern. Looking for the back. I don't think there's been any real incidents. Still only Nathan Bestow any retirement so far in this race. Still 29 runners and riders. And here's Blake Checkers coming through pit lane now to surface drive-through penalty. And he's going to come out well outside of the points, isn't he? But that moves the likes of Tom Stevens up into 9th position and Mario Watson to 10th. And Luca Flas will end up being in the points in the second of the 86E racing cars as well. So it'll be a good haul of points for that if the result stays as it is. yeah, everyone seems to be quite clean. Obviously, a couple of incidents at the start, but it seems to be noticeably cleaner so far in this event than it was in Paul Ricard. So props to everyone so far. But I think Fairclough now I think he's just controlling the pace. I don't think he's really pushing so hard. Then again, I don't think he's dropping into the clutches of Fernandez. He just seems to have built that gap of about half a second or so. Fernandez is the one who's really going to be focusing on the mirror, because he has got Martin Hemmingson all over the back of that Sombic gearbox ahead of him as well for Neptune Sim Racing. And the man is going to be highly, not just I think here, but also in other leagues as well. He's a man who's highly thought of. He's last couple of years he's been fantastic, I think, in all the disciplines he's been taking part in. He's a really big talent, and a lot of teams I think will be touting for his services from 2021. And P4 he stands for the time being. Rozak as well, and a man who's came in and done a great job for the Royal Blue Academy team. But, and solid points finishes are always standing in good stead for this championship as well. It's a long slog. Just taking points every time will really help you out long term as well. Looking for the back. Yeah, it's all very much line the stirred. There's no real battling so far. So I've just seen Kevin Van der Medge having a spin in P28 for Rookie Monsters. He's at the back of the field anyway. It's just been passed by Garrett the free. He's recovering now at the very back of the field. So yeah, the Stoke retired for Rookie Monsters. Now they got a car at the back of the field. Another 4 day at the office so far for the Rookie Monsters team. But pretty much a new team lineup there as well. Both Belgian drivers, Van der Medge and Nathan Stoke there as well. And hopefully over time they'll get better and better. The second half of this season is approaching. Back up front, Guillaume Branton still hold out 2-second gap. The Dutch driver really coming on strong, and it's the second half of the race is going to be the challenge now. He's on that controller. Can't be as precise as maybe the guys behind it. Seems to have higher tyre wear as well, so we'll see how it goes for him. But 6.5 laps gone. We're literally halfway distance now, and he's been very, very impressive so far. Really putting the hammer down and making these guys work for it. Back up in second place, Fernandez. It's still the same at the front of the field. With the DRS as well, it's going to make things, when it's a long train like this at the front of the field, it makes things tricky. But Fairclough has enough of a gap not to really feel threatened by DRS for the time being. It's the same really further behind as well. No one's really looking to move. It's the same last year at Silverstone as well. Like, you made a mistake, you was under pressure, but if you just hold your line, be consistent. It's very difficult to pass because of the higher downforce nature of the circuit. You just got to be very consistent and wait for the opportunities to come to you, really. Reed still all over the back of Rozak, a P5 of course, and Reed has been a breath of fresh air really for this championship. He's when new names come in, you're never really quite sure what they're going to live up to, and of course this is his second event in the Formula Challenge, and he's really put on the sweat for you guys at the front of the field. It's always good to see fresh competition, fresh faces coming in. As Martin Hemmington's looking for a lunge down inside for P3. As I say that, just ahead of Jacob Reed and Rozak. Hemmington trying to line up Fernandez for the exits. He failed to do the move at the end of Wellington Straight. Fernandez he's been close. Fernandez has to take a lift through Copse Corner, but he actually gains the gap from Hemmington. I think Hemmington suffered with 30 air through Copse Corner. Now Rozak is the man who's going to be putting a bit of a sweat on for the championship leader this time around. But the setup gets a bit of a poor run out of it. Looking further back, there's not really a lot going on. Thomas Harvin is in the 10th. You've got Frolic in the point to 11th. He's actually gained quite well, Joey Frolic. So great stuff on his return to the series. And you've got Kalbarshik, Luca Plasterus with Rivoli. Where in all this is Amari Watson? He's down in 27th place. He's had an incident somewhere on track. So something we caught off camera, of course. He's P4 in the championship. This could be, joint third, you could say, actually. Well, he's had an incident, so this is going to be really, really affecting his event. If he stays down in 27th, and no chance of a reverse grid if he stays there, of course. So he's either made a mistake or He's had an incident with somebody on track that we caught off camera, but something's definitely gone on camera now. If we go back to P3, Elias Fernandez defending from Martin Hemmingson once again. It's like Groundhog Day for Fernandez. He's always been under pressure from Hemmingson. Hemmingson trying to go around the outside. Oh, he's got the overlap on the inside now. Fernandez. Hemmingson puts the power on to get himself alongside as they go down the old pit straight once again. Hemmingson's ways ahead for the time being. He's in P3 as they both approach Cops Corner once again. There's 4.5 laps to go. And Hemmingson down the inside. Fernandez trying to hold it on around the outside. He goes wide off the circuit there. Hemmingson's going to get the position. There he is. He's up at a P3. Tough racing, but clean at the same time. Fernandez having to run wide at top. And now, of course, Fernandez will be under pressure here from Patrick Rozak as well. But it looks like, well, Fernandez is still at DRS. It's going to make it a lot more difficult for the Polish driver to make a move. And it looks like he's just going to hold stern. Oh no, he pulls out alongside. A late move there from Patrick Rozak, and he's past Fernandez. Great move into 4th position. Now Jacob Reeder can do the same thing as he go into the complex here at the end of the lap. Reed around the outside. Touch wheels a little bit, it looks like. Reed's through. Reed is through. He's up to 5th place. Great opportunity from there from Jacob Reed. Fernandez has been off. He's been put off there since top corner. Maybe the tyres are starting to go on his car. That's 3 places and pretty much half a lap. Now Fernandez is looking to attack again into the start of the 10th lap here. So looking down the inside, they can't do it. Reed holds on to 5th for now. Behind them, you've got Frelick and Tom Voss, 7th and 8th. Tom Stevenson, 9th. Harvey in 10th. Both Brits there fighting for 9th position. Also good friends as well. They've been practicing with each other since Paul Ricard. Joey Frolick, 11th. Now Barshik, 12th. Glass, 13th. Chris Griswood, 14th. And Riboli still in that 15th place. So all these positions matter a huge amount, particularly not just for points but for race 2 as well. So it's going to be, the last 4 laps or so is going to be really, really tough stuff. As it's back for P7, Tom Voss is through. He passed him on Frelick up into 7th position there. The Dutch driver there, Tom Voss, off the owner of Namco, 820 Namco in Super Cup as well. He is through 7th position. A really good show here from the Dutch driver. He's had a really sort of up and down season, this Tom Voss, but today at least he's looking really, really sharp. And up into P7 already pulling away from Simon Frelick as well. Back at the sharp end of the field. Branton still 1.8 seconds clear of Deegan Fairclough. And we have 3 laps to go. Martin Hemmingson in P3. He's looking to put the English driver as well as a cut track there from Deegan Fairclough. He runs really, really wide. That's Hemmingson now looking to put the pressure on the young English driver ahead. Rozak in 4th, Jacob Reed 5th, Fernandez in 6th still. Tom Voss is coming back under threat from Simon Frelick. But behind them, it's still pretty much the same order as it was before. No other retirement. Oh, Mario Watson has retired. Mario Watson has retired from the race. Nicky de Stoke. He joins in the pit lane. That for P2 recommences. Deegan Fairclough now going to be under big pressure from the championship leader. Martin Hemmingson, matching car. Obviously got DRS open. Fairclough defends from position now, comes back across the racing line. Fairclough defending for all it's worth. Hemmingson can't get the move done. That's to fall back into position. This will give Patrick Rozak a chance again to close up to these two and battle for the podium. Don't count off Jacob Reed as well. He'll be closing in as well. He's been looking pretty good in the first 10 laps of this race. Close up to this group, of course, and now made his way past Elias Fernandez. Now Fairclough again, I think out of Cops Corner gets the advantage from Hemmingson as well. So I think Fairclough could be this has a good Maggot Beckett's Chapel here. He'll be looking good on the exit here as well. He does get a good run. Hemmingson doesn't get such a good run onto the straight. But Rozak can't gain advantage as after this time around it'll be 2 laps to go on these guys. It's been a fairly, actually, to be fair, it's been good racing, but it's been very peaceful apart from the opening stages, so it's not been the most action-packed. It's still stayed absolutely bone dry. There was big predictions of rain here today, but it looks like the rain has not been so much of a threat as before. Still bone dry. So 2 laps to go here for these guys. And Branton in very good shape here to take his first victory of his GPVWC career. It's almost like the Max Verstappen moving from Toro Rosso to Red Bull, isn't it? You know, in a sense, you know, he's moved teams and now he's out in front. So it's strange in that sense. Obviously, both being Dutch as well. Down inside, Hemmingson can't get the move done. There's still 1.5 laps to go. Fairclough probably under the most pressure he's been all year, you could say, as he had the win in Zandvoort, but obviously there was very, very little chance of overtaking there. Yeah, he had a very, very good race 2 victory here. This would be his best, by far and away, his best race 1 performance of the season for Deegan Fairclough, and it's good to see that his technical issues he's had over the previous 3 rounds seems like looking fixed. Now he's racing really, really well up in front. Emerson 3rd, Rozak 4th, Jacob Reed 5th. Fernandez still tagging along to his battle 6th position. Behind them, Tom Voss and Simon Frelick still going hammer and tong for P7 and P8. And they've actually got Tom Stevens and Thomas Harvey closing in on them as well. And then you've got Joey Frolic, Babarchik, Luca Flask, Gristwood, and then Paul Augustin ran it top 15. We'll focus on this final lap at the front of the field. And it looks like Branson's made a mistake. He's made a mistake because now you've got Fairclough all over the back of him for this final lap. So Fairclough's made an error. And now you've pretty much, you could argue, you've got a 6-car train here for this race victory. And the way Formula Challenge goes, sometimes you never know who's going to win this one. But Branson's going to be under some serious pressure starting this final lap. Branson holds the middle of the road into turn 3. Hemmingson down the inside of Fairclough. There's contact between the two. Fairclough holds on nicely though. More contact between the two as they turn in for turn 4. And that's going to be DRS down this straight. Branton's built a bit of a gap, but Fairclough's under pressure here from Hemmingson. Their nose to tail, so they go down this Wellington straight here for the final time in this race 1. And Fairclough breaks really well, actually. He fed him into this section. Hemmingson all over the back. And look at Rozak. He's down inside of Hemmingson. Can't get the move done as it's very late into the corner. You got Reed and Fernandez still fighting on. Branton's lost a bit of time. He's under pressure from Fairclough as they're weaving down the old pitch straight there into Copse Corner. And Fairclough's runs a little bit wide on the exit there of Copse Corner. Branton's still holding on. There's 2 real chances now for Fairclough to move. One is coming up now down Hanger straight into the braking zone. But compared to Branton, I think he's got a pretty good run out of there. It's going to be difficult. But Hemmingson's got a brilliant run out the corner. And it's now side by side. No, he hasn't got the overlap on Deegan Fairclough. Branton holding the inside of the road. Fairclough trying to drive around the outside. Oh, it's going to be a turn in there. Fairclough is running off track. And he's made the move. That's going to be a difficult one from the stewards room, I think. Fairclough has taken the lead. That is a very, very debatable move there from Fairclough. It looks like he's going to take the checkered flag. And for race 1, Fairclough's going to take his 2nd win of the season on track at least. From Guillaume Branton and Marcin Hemmingson, Patrick Rozak 4th, Fernandez 5th. Jacob Reed comes across line in 6th position. He lifts off over the start finish line. Tom Voss in 7th, Simon Frelick in 8th, Tom Stevens in 9th, Thomas Harvey in 10th position. Joey Frolic in 11th. Great effort from him, to be fair. Carl Barshik in 12th, Luca Flask 13th, Chris Grisford 14th, Paul Augustin 15th. And then Massimiliano Riboli just missing out on points in 16th position for Thunderdog. Miguel 17th, Blake Checkett's 18th. Josh Downard 19th. Pointless race there for Nova. Mike Bowell down in 20th. Leon Ratz 21st. Jake Dennehan 22nd. Pointless race, of course, of Stanton Motorsports as well. Dan Hutt 23rd. John McLean 24th. Isaac Morris 25th. Garrett DeFries 26th as come across line. Kevin Vandermeer 27th. And Denos 28th. Amari Watson 29th. Nathan DeStope rounding out the grid there as well. But yeah, controversial move, I'd say, there from Deacon Fairclough. He overtake off track to pass Guillaume Branton. Obviously, we've got to see what the stewards say if it gets reported as well. We'll find out what happens afterwards when the reports come out. But we'll have to say for now, at least, Deacon Fairclough taking his 2nd win of the season from Guillaume Branton as well. Branton taking, I believe, his best result of the season. Well, Martin Hemmingson doing the job he needs to do. P3 looking very good as well. Rozak 4th, Fernandez 5th. That's been race 1 here at Silverstone. We've got more coming up in a few minutes' time. We'll just take a few minutes to calm down after that. We'll go into the warm-up session in a few minutes' time. We'll see you in a few minutes. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the warm-up session for race 2. I hope you enjoyed the first race. It was definitely very, very dramatic. Great racing at the front end of the field. To be fair, the whole grid was pretty sensible. We've just had our reverse grid number, which was number 10, which means Thomas Harvey will be starting for Ridline at the pole position ahead of his good friend Tom Stevens for Thunderdog as well. So great opportunity for them to get a lorry load of points for their respective teams. Simon Frelickby third, Tom Voss will be in fourth as well. Got a minute's warm up here to go in for race 2, and yeah, it's going to be tough. It's been tough for a few people, like Mario Watson looking good in the championship, EDNF race 1. A few people obviously missing today as well, like Stephen Lexo, Sven de Vries not here as well. So it's a good chance for some people maybe in the midfield to the lower end of the, maybe normally around the sort of 20th place mark, to get some good points and to help their teams out in the championship as well. Looks like a couple of people are having some issues, but hopefully we'll be racing in a few moments' time. Again, you know, if you've got any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. I'm just actually watching the chat now, so everybody who's watching at home, wherever you are in the world, and you know, it's if you are new, as I said earlier in the broadcast, but if you've got any questions, feel free to ask in the chat. If you want to get involved in GPVWC, whether you're a driver, a team owner as well, obviously, there's quite a few new teams wanting to join the series of 2021 already. So if you are a team boss looking to get in, you know, feel free to ask the questions in the Discord, which you'll see in the description as well. Or if you're in the Discord already, PM myself, David Carter, or one of the management or admins in GPVWC, and they'll be able to help you out with anything they want to, as everything you want as well. They're just resetting the grid for the for race number 2. And we'll hopefully another great 13 laps of action here again. Still bone dry, no rain at all, which is a surprise in UK. Trucking it down, let's face it. It has been today. Well, I'm very close to Silverstone actually, and it has been raining here quite a bit today. So yeah, I was expecting to see a few puddles here at Silverstone. I know a few drivers were testing in the rain, but nothing. So it's all good to go. Warm-up's now finished. They're just going through the last few messages and saying good luck and everything like that in the chat. They're now advanced into the race session now.
Non-essential personnel leave the grid now.
And after this race, we'll be at the halfway point of the championship as well. So everyone's just going to be lining up on the grid. And yeah, there's a lot to look back on in this first half of the GPVWC year. It's been fantastic. You know, we got about 60 teams racing in GPVWC as well. You know, across the 4 championships across the ladder, 60 teams. There's a lot of good moments, a few rough moments along the way as well, but a lot of colour, a lot of charisma, a lot of characters here this year as well. And we get more and more people joining all the time. And as I mentioned earlier as well, if you want to get involved in racing GPVWC and you're new, I recommend checking out the Academy series. We'll be at Donington Park in a couple of weeks' time for the next one there as well. And I believe after that will be Monza as well, which will be an event that a lot of people again look forward to as well. Just getting to that deeper tracks now. You've got Silverstone, Hockenheim, Monza, Spa. They're all coming up now. We're getting to the meat of the sandwich now of this championship. But for now, at least, I'll run down the grid for race 2 here, which marks the halfway point of the championship. And it's Thomas Harvey on pole position here for Gridline after taking 10th position in race 1. Alongside him will be Tom Stevens for Thunderdog. And again, Thunderdog, they kind of need the points because Sven de Vries is not here today, so important time for them to get some points on the board. Simon Frelick in P3 for RBA. Tom Voss in P4 after a strong showing in race 1 with his teammate Jacob Reed behind him. Again, still an emergency driver for that team. Just to see if they actually get him on a permanent basis for the rest of the season. Elias Fernandez, P6, running up the 3rd row with Patrick Rose and Martin Hamilton running up the 4th row of the grid. Dion Branton, unlucky not to take the victory last time out. He will have the victory, at least provisionally, He's going to be starting in P10. Joey Frolic at P11. Behind him, it will be Barshik on his debut. You get points on your debut, no mean feat whatsoever. Luca Flask in P13, getting points once again. Chris Griswood in P14. Paul Augustin ran it at top 15. Nasamalia Rebelli in P16 in second in the Thunderdog cars. Miguel de los Rios in 17th. Blake Checkett's in 18th. Josh Downard standing for Stephen Lexer, of course. He'll be starting from P19. Mike Bell will be rounding up the top 20 in the second of Downforce cars as well. Liam Ranson, P21. Jake Dennehan, P22. Dan Hudson, P23 in the first of the Friesland cars. Behind him, running up the 12th row with John McLean. We've got a point actually last time out after the penalties in Paul Ricard, so well done to him. Isaac Morris will be in P25. Jack Priest in P26. Ken Van der May in P27 first the Rookie Monsters cars. Another rough event from them so far. Timothy Andonovsky in P28. Mario Watson in P29. And rounding up the grid will be Nathan Bestow in second of the Rookie Monsters cars as well. So again, 30 car grid, as I mentioned earlier. No dry game seat cars here today. It's a no show from them. I believe they're busy elsewhere, but we hope to see them for the next round of the championship and try to avoid being bottom of the championship. They've got Rookie Monsters around them. They've got Friesland around them as well. You don't want to be bottom of this series. You know, there's a lot of teams in there. You want to be proud and at least say you're not last. But anyway, back of the grid. Now lined up. They're actually starting around the 30th place, actually starting around the corner there as well, which is going to be interesting for a start for him, for Nathan Destoke. But now we're waiting for the 5 laps to go out, and once again, Thomas Harvey, another good position with grid line here. Hopefully they make the most of it. As well, Tom Stevens, his good friend alongside him for Thunderdog. The 5 lights are up, and they go out, and they are away, and it looks like a pretty good start from the pretty much the front of the grid. As Simon Frelick, though, gets alongside into turn 1. And looks like he's making the move on Stevens already. A car going miles off the circuit. There's one of the Sombic cars taking the escape route. So now go into turns 3 and 4. Oh, there's a Neptune car flying in the air. Is that Martin Pettis? No, I don't think that is Hamilton. But you got a Nova car, Isaac Morris, going flying across the circuit. Mike Bell's also been involved as well. It's Andonovsky who's parked his car, and he's facing the wrong way. We've done the circuit now. Morris is right at the back of the field, doing a lot of mowing around Silverstone. I know they like their grass around Silverstone. They don't have touch, so Morris won't be too popular for that one. But in the meantime, Thomas Harvey leads. Jacob Reed's up to 2nd place. He's had a brilliant start of Baron GP. You've got Simon Frelick in P3. Tom Stevens is now on the defensive already from Martin Hamilton. He's a bit of a rough start from P2 on the grid. Hamilton turns in. Tyres smoke. It looks like he gets away. Oh, spinner at the background. Spinner at the background. It's an 816 racing car. Is that Leon Brantonov? No, it's Luca Flask off. Luca Flask has gone spinning. He's down in P22. We've got a drive-through penalty before off this line already. There's a car cut in the grass, it looks like there to me as well. Who was that? Is that Rozak? Rozak's had it off as well. It's been a chaotic start to race 2. As the norm is. Just seeing John McLean having a spin at the background as well. And Andonovsky's already out of the race. In the meantime, Thomas Harvey leading the race. The last time he was in this position, he was at Bahrain, had his monitor turned off, ruining his race. He's in P1 for the time being, projected to 3P2. Well, I'm going to stuff this here on my side, but I think the broadcast should be able to cover 73. Simon Frelick. Tom Stevens in 4th. Hemmingson in P5. He's looking to make the move on the British driver. Down inside. Oh, can't quite make it there. 6th position, Deegan Fairclough gets the gun. No, he can't. He's holding on behind them. Tom Boss is 7th, Fernandez 8th, Branton 9th, Joe Frolic ran out the top 10. All up front, we've got some teams trying to defend, but Hamilton's already got the overlap into corner there, leading from the Burlington straight. Hamilton looks like he's got the job done. Stevens trying to hold it down inside. Looks like it's going to be side-by-side action as they go down the old pit straight and into the run it to Cops Corner as well. Deacon Fairclough got a great view of this. Is he going to make it 3 wide? Yes, he is. As they go into Cops Corner, this is not advised, everybody. Oh, there's going to be contact. Hamilton's going to go flying off the circuit. He just avoids the gravel there. Where's he going to rejoin? He rejoins actually in 4th position still. Oh, spin at the background. Contact behind. We'll keep. I'll look at that in a second. As stuff is going on behind. That looks like could have been Morris going off. I don't know, though. Kevin van der Medge's... I'm not quite sure what happened there, but there's definitely a car spinning off in the background there. That was really interesting stuff. Back up front, Harvey leads. These three are breaking away at the front of the field. Harvey from Reed from Simon Frelick. Hemmington's still in 4th position after all of that. Shenanigans at Cox Corner. And Fairclough in 5th. Stevens in 6th position. Elias Fernandez in 7th. Car running off wide. That is Joe Frolic. He's up to 9th position, ahead, just behind Tom Voss. Ahead of Guillaume Branton. They go into turn 1 once again. Oh, that was stuff over Branton. He almost looked like he's going to hit the back of Frolic's car. Into corner once again. They all hold line and turn for now. Bottom's a lunge there from Kabarshik there, getting really involved there. He's up into P11. He's ahead of Blake Checkett. Liam Ratz and Chris with this great fighting it all the way up and down the field from 4th backwards, really. It's fantastic stuff. And it looks like Gridline car trying to make the move down the inside. This is for P13. Liam Ratz is past Chris Griswood down the back of that straight there. He's also Patrick Rosak in 15th position, trying to make up lost ground as well after a rough start for him. Everyone seems to be Andonovsky obviously the first time of the race, John McClane and Paul Augustin struggling at the back of the field with Van der May as well. So tough stuff for them. Hopefully looking to recover and maybe get back into this race. This is of course lap 3 of the race. Still a long way to go of course. The average speed is very, very quick around here, so the race will go pretty damn quickly. But great racing nonetheless. As we're just looking for P4 again, it's Fairclough versus Hemmingson. They had toe-to-toe in race 1. Looks like they're going to regain that battle in race 2 here. It's Fairclough trying to get the overlap on Hemmingson on the exit of Stoke Corner. Hemmingson holding the line really, really well. As I mentioned last time out as well, where Hemmingson actually makes a mistake there. He's made a mistake and Fairclough's on the inside. He uses the anti-cut though on the exit. In fact, that ruins Fairclough's momentum out of the corner. And Hemmingson's under some serious pressure here from Fairclough, who's really putting some great work. In the last few rounds, has just had problems with his PC pretty much, but now he looks like he's got the problems fixed and looking really strong. Could be a dark horse for race wins. Obviously, he took the first race win here. Murray Watson has retired from the race. He's had a disastrous Silverstone here today. We didn't see what happened, but he's out for the second race as well as the first race as well. So both races he has retired. Back up front, Hemmingson and Fairclough still fighting on as well. But Fairclough could be a man who seems rocket up the standings as this second half of the season goes on. If he can replicate the Silverstone form here today for the rest of the year, he'll be a very, very strong competitor for the rest of the season. Back up front, Thomas Harvey still leads from Jacob Reed and Simon Frelick. Them three are still fighting on. Emerson in 4th position, Fairclough 5th. Tom Stevens still in 6th place. He's had a he's steadied the ship after a pretty rough start. Elias Fernandez in 7th, Tom Voss in 8th, Frolic 9th, Guillaume Branton in 10th position. They're all funnel their way through Beckett's Chapel there as well. Looking further back, we've got Josh Downard, the standing from Lexo. Here today, he's in 19th, he's all over the back of Gerrit de Vries. Josh Downard looking down inside the Nova kart, it pulls out last second. We've got Lucas Flask and Rosak. Rosak's dropped more positions as well. He's down to 17th place. So he might have damage on that car. I'm not quite sure, but he's going down the order very, very swiftly, isn't he? It's been a rough day at the office. Massimiliano Riboli is also retired. So 3 retirements now from this race. Everyone else has been pretty sensible, which is good to see. You know, I mean, Formula Challenge, it might be the 4th tier of GPVWC, but it's still very, very fierce and very, very competitive nonetheless. Oh, it's contact between Frolic and Guillaume Branton leading out of turn 4. And it's given a chance now to Kabarshik to potentially challenge for that 10th position. Frolic's mistake has now really put across Branton dearly there. It hasn't. Branton drifts it going into the end of the Wellington straight there. And he keeps that position for now. All these points positions right up to 15th place are being hotly contested. Nicholas de los Rios in the second of the Sunbit cars battling away, but he's holding on to that final point position for now. Back up front though, Frelick has dropped back a little bit from the front 2, Harvey and Jacob Reed. Of course, this is only lap 5 of the race. Harvey looks comfortable. If we're looking in his mirrors, but there's no real challenge from Reed so far regarding any moves. It looks like Harvey is doing his best to run away, and Jacob Reed is trying to set himself up for a perfect overtaking opportunity. Reed is trying to distract Harvey in the mirror, but Harvey nearly a year's experience under his back now in GPVWC. Started towards the end of last year, he went to Singapore and then Japan, so he's getting to be a more experienced campaigner as the races go on. Here's while Martin Hamilton and Deegan Fairclough still battling away for P4. Very, very strong performance from these guys. Surprisingly, Hamilton is dropped back by as much as he has from the front three. I thought he might be running close. I thought the likes of Hamilton and Fairclough would be working together to make their way to the front three. Justin Patrick Rosak's also retired from the race, the RBA car. And Kevin Van der Meij is also retired. So, yeah, difficulties there for Rosak. So, it's, Rosak and Amari Watson both had troubles, and they were joint third in the championship into this round as well. So, not ideal for RBA, not ideal for Santon. Of course, Nova's taken away no points as well. It's all benefiting the Neptune Simracing top of that team championship, and it's all benefiting as well, at least for the time being. Thunderdog in P6, they're going to get some important points as well. Tom Stevens can stay there as well. Asombic as well, getting some solid points from this round. Like Sevilius Fernandez coming back and doing a really, really solid job for them as well. He's got Tom Voss all over the back of him in P8, doing a nice job for having GP as well. There'll be another team who benefit a huge amount from this race as well. We'd like to read really pulling the strings there for the team. Dion Branton in P10. I'm just watching him. He's closing to the back of Joey Frolic in 9th position. And Frolic there, their fellow Dutch driver there, is battling away. The battle for P17 is looking really, really interesting. Josh Downard, Gerrit de Vries, Jake Dennehan as well. Not where Josh Downard would want him or his team to be. They're down in 17th and 22nd. They are in for a pointless event here at Silverstone here today, which would not be ideal at all. They've had a couple of rough rounds in rounds gone by at the start of this season, but they've had a promising start for a new team. But you want that consistency to come in over the rounds. They're racing Gerrit de Vries and Jake Dennehan for the time being. They can just open 20th, Dan Hutt 21st. Isaac Morris 22nd, tapping the back of Dan Hutt's car. Paul Alexander 23rd, Mike Bow down in 24th. After losing a load of points after penalties in Paul Riccardi, lost 9 points. He was a bit of a naughty boy, shall we say, in Paul Ricard. John McLean 25th, Rosak, Van der Meij, Amari Watson, Rebo, and Donofsky all out of this race. Thomas Harvey, though, under pressure at the front of the field. Jacob Reed getting ever closer to the back of his fellow Brits car, and this could be the 5th British winner in 6 races here at Silverstone. Because as I said before, British residents, shall we say. As I said, before tonight's event, the previous 4 winners was all based in the UK, so holds a strong heart for the British sim racers here. They always seem to do a lot of practice for this event, I've noticed. They've it makes sense in some ways, but it seems the Brits seem to do more practice for their own event than maybe other nations do as well. It's a very, very likeable circuit. A lot of drivers do like this track. And the 2 Brits, Harvey and Reed, are pulling away from the likes of Simon Frelick now. Hemmingson in 4th, Fairclough 5th still, Tom Stevens in 6th position. Fernandez, Voss, Frolick, Branton rounding up the 10, still as it stands. Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, this will be the halfway point of the championship. Maybe teams will start to look towards next year. I know a few have already. Looking at drivers who may be showing potential. If maybe a Super Cup team, a Super Lights team, or maybe a new team coming into the series next year. It'd be worth keeping an eye on you guys racing on track here today and for the season, because these are, you could say, maybe some of the brightest talents on the grid going forward into 2020, the end of 2020 and the start of 2021 as well. All those teams that do the scouting, do the research, and sign the best drivers they possibly can. Everyone seems to be fairly sensible. Everyone's, I wouldn't say spread out, but no one's really looking at moves. There's not really so many overtaking opportunities around Silverstone, or natural overtaking opportunities. Maybe the end of the Hangar Straight that Harvey and Reed are coming to now would be one of them going towards Stowe Corner, but I say Reed's far too far back. We'll be looking for a move. Everyone's pretty much in the same boat. It's not been the most exciting race too, but it's been close racing. That's one thing for sure. I mean, it'd be difficult to match the end of race 1. That's for sure. You know, the top 6 fighting for the race win at the end. The battle to keep on. I'm going to keep an eye for the brief moment. At least it's battle for P12. We've got Liam Rance in second of the red line cars. Chris Griswood, Nicolas de los Rios, Blake Checkett, and you got Luca Fast. And this is battle for 16th position. Sorry, battle for 12th position. We're only going back to 16th as well. And it's like Rance is trying to gap out a little bit because behind it, of course, all these points, even if you're finishing 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. Oh, speaking of which, contact De Los Rios into the wall. And I think that was a punt from Blake Checkett. I think De Los Rios was slow going out of turn 2. And Checkett just whacked the back of him. Just whacked the back of his car, and De Los Rios into the wall, no front wing at all. That is going to be looked at by the stewards after the race, I think, because the awareness was a bit poor, shall we say, after that. And as a car for track, De Los Rios is now going to retire from the race with that damage as well. So De Los Rios out of race 2 here. And the man, he doesn't really get a huge amount of luck. You know, he's a great character, great competitor on track as well, but he never really seems to get the luck he sometimes deserves as well. Hopefully we'll be seeing him in future rounds. Obviously his first round back in GPVWC in 2020. We'll hope to see him again in that Summit car for future rounds as well. Back up front, Harvey and Reed. The gap is now about half a second between the two of them. Now for Gridline, again, this would be a fantastic day for them. This will be their first victory as a team in GPVWC as well. They've come close a few times before. They've always been in good positions, but they haven't quite cracked that race victory yet. Thomas Harvey into the position with 4 laps to go to get the victory here this afternoon at his home track here at Silverstone. But Jacob Reed will be doing his damnedest to make sure that doesn't happen and take his second win in 2 events for the emergency driver at Hamming GP as well. Also, one thing to note as well, the top 6 positions are all in different cars as well. You've got the Gridline car, you've got Hamming GP car, RBA or the Royal Blue Academy car, Neptune Simracing car, Downforce as well, and then you got the Thunderdog car as well, rounding out the top 6. And you got the second of the Hamming GP cars in P7 with Tom Voss, and he's under a bit of pressure from Jerry Frolic as well. Frolic's had a good race actually. Bear in mind, emergency driver for Madness. He's made his way up the field really good. It's like he's got a very, very good race car in him. And Madness, I know, has had a few low downforce setups this year. Frolic's made really, really good progress today. Up into that P8, maybe touting around for a full-time seat. We don't know. I guess we'll find out in future rounds if he does stick around. It's good to see him. Actually runs a bit wide out of turn 1 there. Bjorn Branson 9th. Kovacic gets in there for a top 10, and then behind them we've got a big battle still carrying on. Liam Rance, Chris Griswood for P11. The Valley Esports car behind them with Blake Checkett as well. All British drivers in this battle, and Luca Flask in 14th for Malta there behind as well. Following suit, and we've got 15th place. Yes, Fernandez after his problems earlier is back in the point. Pretty good races. Josh Downard actually in 16th as well. He might actually be in a sniffer of a point if he can hold on to that position with 3 laps to go. It'll be as he comes around this time around. Jake Dennehan in 17th place as well. But it's been a rough day for a few drivers, like it is in every event. You know, there's always different drivers who maybe has good events and maybe rough events, but that consistency is always key. Hemmingson is looking all over the back now. Simon Frelick as we go back towards the front of the field. And Hemmingson having a sniff at his rival for most of the season here, Simon Frelick in P3 as we go down inside. Can't sneak out an opportunity. Battle also ahead. We've got Thomas Harvey and Jacob Reed fighting out as well. So it's 2 battles here for the top 4 positions. Fairclough now dropping back. But Hemmington's put the hammer down. He's broken free of Deacon Fairclough. He's now looking all over the back of the RBA car ahead of him into Cops Corner with 2.5 laps to go. Turn into Cops Corner. Hemmington washed that a little bit wide with the dirty air. Still gets good momentum as you go through Maggots, Beckett's and Chatham now. Hemmington taking a slightly different line than Simon Frelick has taken. interesting to see what effect that has down the straight. It looks like it's got a similar result. Frelick getting the drive out the corner. Hemmingson going to have DRS down the straight as well. And also, I think there's a back marker traffic coming up for the leaders as well. Thomas Harvey, Jacob Reed. I can hear a back marker ahead. It's time P24. For now, at least, will not be much of a problem. Fairclough in fifth, though. You could say he's in line for driver of the day. Here's Deacon Fairclough. He's had a weight race win, of course, in Zandvoort, but he's never really had a performance like this. As Nicolai de los Rios is now out of the race. Tom Stevens as well, you know, new to the series. Obviously, it's race 2 and everything, but he's in line for some very good points as well. So Tom Stevens is in very good shape. Battle for P3 still raging on, of course, though. Simon Frelick defending from the championship leader, Martin Hemmingson. And Hemmingson, of course, every round he's taken part in this season has scored points in every single race so far. So, you know, he's been very, very consistent and deserves that place top of the championship. Back up front, Thomas Harvey defending Reed. Reed is side by side. And Hemmingson has passed Simon Frelick. Hemmingson has passed Frelick into third position. So there is another podium finish here for Hemmingson here today. And he's been very, very impressive so far. You know, he's another podium to add to his collection this season. And even though he hasn't got his championship rival here, Spencer Fries, you're never going to turn away the possibility of good points at every single round. So it's going to be interesting. So this would be Martin Hemmingson's 11th podium in 16 races, if he can carry on with this. If he can keep his position. Deacon Fairclough also closing to the back of these two as well, so don't write him off to make up places and battle along. We're going into the final lap very, very shortly now, guys, as Thomas Harvey breaks for the complex for the penultimate time. He's still got Reed all over the back of him. He's going to make Thomas Harvey work for this victory as we're just about to start the final lap of this evening's racing, everybody. As Harvey's still looking good for that P1. We're going to be focusing. We're going to be focusing for the battle for the win. Harvey takes a nice line into turn 3. And Reed, it's going to be difficult for Reed because DRS is not really that effective around here. That's the problem. You know, it's very difficult to close up another car. You really need good corner speed. As Harvey does the sensible thing, moves across, trying to break the toe straight away. I think that's Mike Bow ahead, actually, a few seconds up the road. So we'll see if he. No, sorry, apologies. That's the canopy car. I believe that's John McClane, actually, who's ahead of this battle, looking like he could be lap at the end of this lap. I hope he doesn't get involved in this battle for the win, because it's exciting stuff at the end of the day. So Harvey looks like he's holding on well. Looking in the background, Hemmingson pulling away a little bit from P3. It looks like that podium's in the bag for him. Who is going to be victorious out of this one? Harvey had a poor run out of Cops Corner, going into Maggots and Beckett's and Chapel for the last time. So the run out of this corner, very important stuff. It looks like Harvey's got a good run out of there. Harvey's got a good run out of there. I think he's just got enough straight line speed to hold on position. He's pulled away from Jacob Reed. And behind him as well. No one looking like they're going to make any moves, as Thomas Harvey looks like he's going to take his first victory of his GPVWC career here this evening. But Deacon Fairclough win the first race. We've got another Brit here winning the second race. Thomas Harvey for Team Gridline is going to take race 2 victory here at Silverstone. Thomas Harvey with the victory. Jacob Reed for P2. Martin Hemmingson in P3, championship leader, having a very good evening's work here. Simon Frelick in 4th. Deacon Fairclough 5th. Tom Stevens will be starting in 6th position. Tom Boss in P7, holding up his Dutch counterpart, Jerry Volek. Kabarshik P9, Ian Branson P10, Chris with 11th, Checkett in 12th with double points finish there for Valley Esports. Liam Rance 13th, Luca Fast 14th, Elias Fernandez 15th, Josh Daniel just missed out on points in 16th, Jake Dennehan 17th. I think point this evening there for both Nova and Santon. David Stone 18th, Dan Hutton 19th, Garrett de Vries 20th. Mike Bell will come across the line in P21, having a poor evening's work considering the championship position. He lost all the points, of course, before the event with penalties. And now a pointless event here this evening. Ulrich line in 22nd, and it's going to be John McClane going to be the last finisher, well down on the back of the field. Isaac Morris It looks like a retirement. Miguel de los Rios also retiring as well. Patrick Rozak, Kevin van der May, Amari Watson, Massimiliano Riboli, and Andonovski all retirements as well. So a rough even for a lot of the guys out there today. But we've had, a new winner in Thomas Harvey. We've had some great performances out there today from a lot of old faces and new faces as well. So it's great to see, and people taking the opportunities when it's on as well. So that has been the racing here at Silverstone. And it's been a fine performance there from a lot of teams and drivers here today. Of course, in 2 weeks' time, we'll be at Hockenheim, and that will mark the 9th round. And then after that event, we'll have our summer break. So it'll be a 4-week break between Hockenheim and the round after as well. So, between rounds 9 and 10. So we're looking forward to that. We'll just see if a few people want any interviews. They'll be coming up in a few moments' time. But in the meantime, I'll just mention that obviously next week we have got Super Cup, Super League Lights, and Super League all here at Silverstone as well. Hope you look forward to that. I'll certainly be looking forward to all those events as well, because they'll always bring some fantastic racing, some great stories and racing out of it comes out of it as well. So looking forward to all of that stuff. But it's been a fantastic season so far. Just bring on the rest of it. The second half will be coming up now. But in the meantime, I'm going to have a couple of interviews to do. And the first one I'm going to bring in is our podium finisher in race 1, Guillaume Branson. Guillaume.
Hello.
Hello there, mate. It's been a tough couple of weeks for you, an unexpected couple of weeks for you. But you certainly come here really fighting well, racing a really good race, leading for so long of race 1 after all the penalties that happened after qualifying, and taking a very well-deserved P2. Do you feel slightly aggrieved, though, that you didn't take the victory?
Yeah, well, still, we're going to look, because from my point of view, it was kind of outside of the track. So we'll see what happens. But in general, it was a very good race. It will be my best result in the GPVWC. So, yeah, I'm happy.
That's great stuff. And, you've raised a lot of eyebrows since you've joined GPV as well. Obviously, P6 before you came in here today, and now taking victory for 86 Esports, your new team, of course. That must, in some ways, make the result today even more special, considering what happened before.
Yeah, I've had a few bad rounds to Canada, which was my own fault, but also some rounds where I got taken out, or a leg spike happened or something. So yeah, this round I really wanted to get the max result out of it, and yeah, it worked. Got a bit of luck, of course, with penalty that I could start from pole, but yeah, I'm happy. It worked in the end. Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a fantastic performance for you now, and of course, marking the halfway point of the season now, Guillaume. I think you set the standard pretty high this year. But what is now the goal going forward between now and the end of the season? Is maybe like a race win on track now going to be the goal going forward, or just seeing how many points you can finish between now and the end? Obviously, you've had a very, very good, promising start.
Race victories are very difficult, but I'm still targeting them, of course. Considering that Hockenheim will be my last race for quite some while because of work. I'm going to take the max out of that one, see if I can at least get another podium on that race, and then hopefully be back for USA or Brazil to finish it off nicely.
Well, so we
That's
wish
my
you.
target.
Yeah, so we wish you all the best in the gap that you have. But I'll say, we hope you enjoy the rest of the year at least, and we'll look forward to see you in future rounds as well. And you've certainly impressed a lot of people since you joined. So keep up the great work, Guillaume, and look forward to seeing you in the coming future.
Thank you.
I'm just going to bring in our next interviewee and race winner in race 1, at least on the road, at least Deegan Fairclough, having probably your best event since joining GPWC, taking the victory on the road in race 1 and then P5 in race 2, racing Martin Hamilton for a large part of that. You must be over the moon, because that has been, it's kind of been coming like you've improved all season. but obviously, especially doing it at your home race as well, you must be chuffed to bits with your performance here today.
Yeah, I'm really happy. The the first thing when I got into the server, all I was worrying about was the lag spikes. I was not caring about anything else. But then after like 5 laps, I was just pushing as hard as I could to get first in the first race, and hopefully I can get pole, not what's it called, not get like a penalty or points off my license.
Yeah, it's been a bit up and down. Obviously, at the race victory in Singapore, but you've had some rough moments as well. But now the first half of the season's done with. Can you say that maybe the second half of the season now you've had this big boost in performance and maybe confidence as well? I think you could be one of the guys who really shoots up the championship table as well. Do you have any aims or targets now between now and the end of the year?
Hopefully, this is kind of like my challenge is to get top 5 in the championship, but I'll be really happy with top 10 from where I was halfway through the season.
Yeah, so it's ambitious goal, but ambition can take you a long way in this game. So, there's nothing wrong with that. And I think with the championships looking so close and of the big haul of points you should be getting here today, that's not such a bad target to go for. So I think looking forward, I think you're in a very good stead. But well done for tonight, anyway.
Yeah,
And I'll
thank
say
you.
we'll hope to see you in 2 weeks' time and enjoy the victory. Obviously, we'll see if the victory sticks. We'll see what happens. But for now, at
Yeah.
least, congratulations on the win.
Okay, thank you.
And I'm going to bring in our last interviewee here this evening, taking his first win in GPVWC here this evening. And could say it's been on the cards for a little bit. I know it's been a bit of rough events here and there in similar positions, but Thomas Harvey taking race 2 victory here today, his first in his career. Tom, again, you've been in similar positions before, but now you've actually done it. It must be a big weight off your shoulders.
Yeah, I was, really thinking, this is too good to be true. I'm gonna lose it somehow, but nah. Managed to just GG to Jacob. That was in race 2. It was insanely close, but just managed to hold him off luckily. But yeah, in race before, I basically either something happened to me or just bottled it myself half the time. But this time managed to get it home, which was a big relief.
And doing it at your home Grand Prix as well. It's actually a little stat I said in the broadcast, but you're the 6th win it in a row that's based in the UK at Silverstone. The last 3 times we come here and form the challenge, it's always been people either from the UK or based in the UK. So you've carried on that great run going. So props to you for that one. But going forward now the season, obviously for Gridline, it's been a bit of baptism of fire because they had a bit of a rough start and it's getting better and better now. Where do you see the team going? You and Liam now going from now on to the rest of the season. Now you got the monkey off your back, so to speak, with the win. Where do you see it going now for you?
No idea really. I suppose after the rough start, a bit. Australia obviously started off the season. Was very, there was a lot of lottery to it, and just in general, I think lack of experience maybe here and there probably not helping me out. And bad luck for Liam as well at certain cases. So I think I'm just honestly, I'm just taking it race by race. Yeah, we'll just see how it goes really. But yeah, good to keep up the UK victories, and yeah, I think the other nations need to get good really. So
don't spark any controversy now, do we?
bring up the table other races.
But yeah, it's been fun, and I think now you had a good end of 2019 actually as well. I remember you driving for my team as well, and we always knew you had the talent. It's just seeing it again really, but was that's been the key. But I'm glad you finally broken your duck, and hopefully we'll see some more great performances between now and the end of the season from Tom. But for tonight, congratulations. Enjoy whatever drink you might fancy you between now and the evening's out.
Thank you.
No worries at all. Right, that's been Silverstone. That's been it from me. We'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. Obviously, look forward, keep an eye on what's going on the website, GPVWC. If you're new, sign into the Discord as well. Thank you to Sandeep Singh for putting up with me again and being our great cameraman. I've been David Carter. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time at Hockenheim. Bye for now.